Well, we're back now with Hilary Jenison, who is the co-founder of the Hingham Anchor. So for people who don't know what the Hingham Anchor is, layman's terms, explain it to me like I'm a dummy who just landed here on Earth from outer space.
We are a hyperlocal news website. We provide community news information about events, highlighting people that live and work in Hingham. We cover town meetings. We cover the elections. Local news across the country. It's no secret that it's really struggling, and the South Shore is no exception. So we started the Anchor 5 years ago in the absence of really having a local newsroom here. And we've been really fortunate that now we have about 65,000 unique visitors per month.
Whoa.
So we reach people from not just Hingham, but all over the South Shore looking for news and information about what's happening here locally.
All right, so how do people find you? Let's get that out of the way right off the bat.
We have a website, which is www.hinghamanchor.com. And then we also have social media channels, which is at Hingham Anchor on Facebook and at Anchor Hingham on Instagram. We also have really in-depth sports coverage through Anchor Sports, which is run by Josh Ross, who's a local. He's incredible. He goes to all the games and takes just amazing photos of our athletes. He also covers a lot of the any student happening, so from arts and entertainment to sports, academics, he covers it all.
So 5 years in, 5 years ago, what was your mindset going into this? What was the drawing that you had on the board for yourself, and how does it look now compared to what you had on the drawing board back then?
So I grew up in Hingham, and as a local, and my background is media, so I thought I was starting something for young moms like me that were looking for information about what was happening locally and wanted to find it online. At the time, the Hingham Journal was a newspaper, and they didn't put a lot of stuff online. So that's where most people are getting their information these days, and that really was missing. So I thought I was starting it for people like me, and I just started it as a passion project. And I was quickly surprised that it wasn't just moms. It really was the entire community that was lacking a local digital resource. And so we now reach everyone from students to seniors and everyone in between. And it's really become such a critical resource, and I'm so grateful. But I've been blown away by the reception.
I'm telling you, local is so important, because sometimes you'll even see, I'm not going to name any websites, but they put the word local in it, and then you find out it's part of a bigger conglomerate. It's like, this isn't really that local, but you guys really are.
We really are. We live in Hingham. Our writers live in Hingham. Our web designers live in Hingham. We are for locals by locals.
Now, I'm curious, how do you go about finding talent to be your writers, to be your photographers, journalists, you name it? I look at something like this, like that would be probably a great place to get your feet wet if you're just out of school.
Yep.
Or it's probably a great place to keep your feet wet if, you're a local resident, you don't feel like making that commute somewhere far away. Or people that's like, I started here and I'm staying here.
Yep,
Tell
absolutely.
me about that.
So we were really, really fortunate in that Hingham has an amazing local journalist, Carol Britton-Meyer, who's been writing about the history of Hingham for 25 years plus. And she was the local news journalist for the Hingham Journal. We were fortunate in that when we started the Hingham Anchor, she decided to come and write news for us. So she's amazing, and we're really grateful to have her abilities with the Anchor and covering our local news. We also have a team of like 4 to 5 other freelance writers and photographers that pitch stories to us, or we assign stories to, really like keeping an eye on everything that's happening locally. We also have a lot of people that submit content, so we have some like regular columnists and opinion
that's what
writers.
I was actually going to ask you about.
Yeah, we have
so how does that work?
we have a lot of people that write in, like Glenn Mangorian writes a column. And then we have a lot of people submitting press releases and submitting opinion pieces. I'm actually also really proud we're the only local news resource that offers free obituaries. And so we think that's just a really nice thing to do for the community in terms of bringing it full circle.
Now, I mean, there's the idea, print journalism is dead. Journalism is dead. Not really.
No.
Because you think of it like even though it's online, it's still print. You still have to get people writing, sourcing, and doing all the stuff that they have to do.
Yeah.
You must be pretty proud.
I am proud. I am. Sometimes, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to lie, and sometimes it's overwhelming. But at the end of the day, when I really look at the bigger picture, I'm incredibly proud of what we've built, and I'm incredibly proud of what this community has given back to me as well, in terms of just really trusting us as their local news resource, and being able to help us make, without our readers, we wouldn't be what we are today. So, just really grateful for the community and really proud of what we've been able to build. And like you said, journalism is not dead. Journalism is incredibly critical for our democracy, especially in the times that we're in today. And so, my ask of people is, we do have a donation portion on our website, and if you believe in local journalism and you want to see it thrive and continue to thrive, we accept donations, and we don't charge a subscription because we really want to make sure that our news is equally accessible for everybody, and so that's important to us. But we do, if you have the means and you want to keep local journalism alive, we would love your support because it's hard.
I wholeheartedly believe in it. It's funny. What I do for work and what I've been doing for work for the past 10, 15, 20 years really has nothing to do with it. Anything that I studied in school, most of what I do, I kind of took up on my own. But where did you go to school, and what did you go to school for, and is it being applied to what you're doing right now?
Sure. So I went to University of Massachusetts at Amherst, proud UMass grad, and I was an English major. And at the time, I didn't know necessarily what I wanted to do, but I figured having strong, writing and communication skills would benefit me in the future, and it certainly has.
Yeah, it definitely has. All right, so we've got the Hinghamite of the Year.
Yes.
This is Bob Curley.
Yep.
How do you guys go about this process? How do you pick a candidate? What makes a good candidate? And why this guy?
Sure. So Hingham has had Citizen of the Year for many, many, many years. And a few years ago, the Hingham Journal stopped running Citizen of the Year. So we were approached by members of the community and the select board to bring that back in some way, shape, or form about 3 years ago. And we are so thrilled. This year we had over 20 nominations for really incredible members of the community. One thing that's amazing about Hingham is the amount of people that just have such pride in our community and give back in terms of volunteering and civic engagement. So we definitely had a full roster of people that were nominated, like really incredible nominees. And our nominating board reviewed all of them. And even though we had, a really strong candidates, Bob Curley was a unanimous win this year. If anyone doesn't know Bob lives in Hingham. He's raised his 3 girls in Hingham. I actually went to school with some of his girls.
Okay.
And he is just incredibly smart, incredibly dedicated to Hingham. He's volunteered on numerous boards, from the Historical Commission to the Advisory Committee. I think he was Advisory Committee chair. Now he's involved in Planning Board. So he's really he's done it all. He's amazing. He is also one of the kindest and very humble individuals you'll ever meet. So I don't think he has had a lot of fanfare. And so we're just so thrilled that his family and his wife, Kathy, and his daughters, Beth, Meg, and Christine, nominated him, along with a number of other people. He had multiple nominations.
That's great.
And so Bob Curley couldn't be more deserving. We're super proud that he's our Hinghamite of the Year this year. He's going to be in the 4th of July parade, so we're excited to cheer him on. He's going to be with his grandkids and his family, so we're really excited about that, and I'm proud of Bob.
So what is so special about this town? This is I put people on the spot whenever I go and interview people. What is so special about this town to you?
I always joke so I grew up in Hingham. I'm a so-called townie, I guess you'd say. And I always joke with my high school friends that all roads lead back to Hingham, because if you grew up here, you can't imagine living anywhere else.
Why would you want to leave?
Yeah.
Why would you want to leave? This has everything.
It really does.
You're so close to Boston. If you need to take the commuter rail, it's right there. You've got the ocean right there. Great boating, great restaurants, great people. It's just a wonderful town.
It is. It's amazing. It's a beautiful community. I really think one of the things that that makes Hingham shine is the history of Hingham, and just the volunteerism and the community of people that live here. People are proud to be from Hingham, and people are proud to live here. And when I went to college, like I was really proud to say that I grew up in Hingham and that's where I was from, and I continue to be that way. And I think a lot of people in this community are. And I think you look around and just the history that we have and the dedication of like people like the Historical Society. I'm looking at their museum across the street. Just really believe in preserving our town and making sure that it's, for future generations, it stays as thriving as it is today.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good, strong community?
Yeah.
All right, so elephant in the room. What's your favorite 4th of July memory?
4th of July memory. So growing up in Hingham, I always marched with the Hingham Militia.
All right. I love the Hingham Militia. I've done a couple of pieces with them down.
Fun known fact about me. I was one of the little girls in the front wearing the bonnet. And
that is awesome.
Yep. So I did that every year growing up. I loved it. So that's always a special moment for me when I see them marching in the parade.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, I really want to thank you for stopping in today. What do we have coming up? We're gonna this is the end of the pre-show.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it. You were my last guest today.
You're having so much fun. It flew by.
And your stage manager, I think, took some great shots over there.
Awesome.
So thanks for joining us.